This video will show you where and how to search for systematic reviews and research for your evidence-based practice case study assignment. So we're going to start at the Nursing 410 Research Methods Guide. And if you don't remember how to get here, you can get here from 2SN. And there's a link. Once you're in 410, over on the right, there's a toolbox that says Syllabus and 410 Library Course Guide. So you can always use this link to get to the course guide. So we have links for all of the information that you need to find for this assignment and for your other assignments in this class. So if you scroll down, you can see lists of different places where you can search for all kinds of information. So if you are feeling a little bit overwhelmed by all of these options, or you're just familiar with Online Medline from the practice assignments that we've done so far, then you can find just about anything that you need using Online Medline. And other videos in this series will show you how you can search some other places for other kinds of evidence if you would like to explore those. So we're going to start in Synol. I have to log in because I'm off campus. And then I'm going to add Medline and Academic Search Complete as well. If you feel like you need a refresher on how to search these databases, I would suggest that you check out the How to Search the Library Databases video in this series, because we're not going to review the basics in this video. So for this case, I'm just going to look back at the case. We want to pick out one or two aspects of Mary's case to search first. So why don't we search for type 2 diabetes and hemoglobin A1C to see what we can find on that topic. And I'm going to put in hemoglobin A1C or HbA1c because I've seen it represented in both ways. So then we can hit search. You can see that we have lots of results. So if you're specifically looking for systematic reviews or specific types of research like randomized controlled trials, then you can actually add those in as search terms. One of the great things about systematic reviews and randomized controlled trials is that they often show up right in the title of an article, so it's really easy to search for these types of resources. And you can see a lot of these results will have a colon and it will say a systematic review, so you know right off the bat that you're looking at a systematic review. So you would just want to scroll through and look for one that looks like it's relevant to Mary's case and might be a good, strong source of evidence. So not everything that comes up here is going to be a systematic review. It's just going to contain the word systematic review somewhere. But because there are so many systematic reviews that use those words right in their title, most of the results that you see will be systematic reviews. And you can update the date range to make sure that we're getting the most up-to-date relevant information. You can see we still have a lot of results, so you could continue to narrow down if you wanted to, or you could just scroll through the first page or so and see if anything stands out to you. And I'm noticing that glucose control or glycemic control is another term that's coming up in a lot of these, so if you feel like you're really not finding what you need, you could come in here and type in or glycemic control and see if that opens up options for you. You can use the same process searching for randomized controlled trials. You can hit search to rerun the search with RCTs. And then you'll see that not everything that comes up is going to be a randomized controlled trial, but again, they tend to say RCTs somewhere in the title. So the very first one is a good example of why you shouldn't just assume that everything that comes in is going to be an RCT, because this one is actually a systematic review of trials. But you can see this one is a randomized controlled trial. This one's a randomized controlled trial. So again, you can look through and try to find something that looks like it's going to be relevant for Mary's case. So there are lots of other places where you can search for sources to use for this assignment. But if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed and you prefer to stick with CINAHL and Medline, which you've used for some of your practice assignments, then you can find just about everything you need here.